Happy Feature Friday, everybody. It is November 1st, the day after Halloween. So hopefully everybody survived the sugar rush and avoided candy corn, because that is the worst candy available. But anyways, my name is Matt. I'm the training manager here at Beacon Software. And today we're going to take a look at DA Mobile. So our DA Mobile app allows you to basically dispatch when you're not in front of a computer. We have a lot of tools to make it a little bit easier for you. So when you are on the go and you need to dispatch your call, or if you're in the truck driving, you're able to still dispatch your calls and manage all the calls in basically a timely fashion and make it as easy as possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and we'll get our app pulled up. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to download it to begin with. So my Play Store is at the bottom here, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up. It would be the same thing on Apple devices. All right, we'll click a search. I already have it searched up here. So when you search Dispatch Anywhere, you get a couple of our apps that come up, the driver app, DA Mobile, TowMagic, etc. We're going to download the Dispatch Anywhere mobile app. All right. So mine's already been installed. All right, but we'll go ahead and open it now. All right. So once we open it, you should have a username and password to log in. So I'm going to go ahead and log into our database. Log in. All right, so here we are. So this is the main screen you're going to see as soon as you log into Dispatch Anywhere Mobile. All right, so we can see in my queue I have 3 calls waiting. I have 5 of them assigned. If you can see at the bottom there, the holding calls. So if I had any appointment or holding calls, I'd be able to see them on the app as well. All right, so that's just the main screen, and I can collapse these. So if I want to collapse my assigned calls, for example, I can hit the assigned area there and it collapses it. So depending on what's easier for you when you manage your calls, you'll be able to customize that. Now I'm going to start in the top left hand corner there with the 3 lines. This is going to slide out and allow me to change a few options here. So we can see I have my green light towing. I have 8 total calls. Dispatch is just going to bring me back to the main dispatch screen. Drivers will allow me to see my drivers so I can see who's available or logged into the driver app, who's unavailable. And you can kind of see on some of these, like Brian or Alex, for example. Brian has 3 calls assigned to him. Alex has 2. Other Alex has 1 call assigned to him. So it gives you an idea how many calls the driver's assigned to, just like the desktop would. Advanced search on the left-hand side just lets me search for calls depending on what I'm looking for. So, whether it's by, really any information you have on the call, per driver, date range, partial VINs, license plates, owner information, etc. You have all that you can search for right on the app if you need to. Settings, all right, and here you can change a few things. It shows which login you're using, which version, which might help for troubleshooting if you're having any potential problems. If you don't want to see requested bys, you can shut that off. You can change your display if you want to see by job number, ticket, or PO if that's easier for you. Printer, if we're going to attach a printer or the Bluetooth printer, if you're going to be printing tow tickets in the field, that's what that's used for. You can enable or change your notifications as well, and you can do that here. What this setting would do is when your driver timestamps the call, en route, arrived, so forth, you may not want to see every single one of those timestamps. You can shut that off here. Now, you'll still receive new job notifications. These are just additional notifications throughout the job process. Right. Show jobs in holding on the map. We're going to look at the map here in a second. If you don't want to see those calls, you can shut it off. So if you usually have a lot of appointment calls, you can shut this off or turn it on depending on what you need. Change your map style to a standard or hybrid. Pin your vehicles by the vehicle number or the type. Most people probably want it by vehicle number, so this may be a setting you need to change. Your notification tones, depending on what you want to hear. A lot of these are pretty loud, especially if you're in the truck dispatching and doing jobs at the same time. You may want to change one of these. And then connecting the Square reader. We talked about this in one of our previous trainings. We do have Square integration now, so if you need to connect that reader here, you can. Otherwise, you can just connect it to your phone via Bluetooth, and it will find it later on. All right. And then logging out. The only difference with desktop and mobile, if you log in and out of your mobile and computer, it will kick out the previous login. So for example, if I tried to log in on my computer right now with this login, it would kick me out of my mobile, and vice versa. If I was logged in on the computer and logged in on the mobile, it will kick out my login. So just be careful about that. All right, but I'm going to go back to the dispatch screen here. A couple things on here I want to talk about. We can kind of see just, waiting calls here. These are waiting. We see a new call, request to buy is required. That's a call that would have possibly fed in from TowMagic if you're doing motor club jobs. We can see our assigned calls down here. The one I want to point out is the illegally parked at the bottom. It says we have Alex assigned to it +1. That indicates that I have an additional driver, 1, 2, etc. How many drivers I have on the calls. And we could also see that ETAs, on a lot of these calls we've missed so far. So some of these I'm 2 hours over, 14 days, etc. So it does give you an idea how long the driver, might be over your ETAs that you're giving. And you can get all that again just from your mobile app. The only other two icons we have up here across the top, we have the little magnifying glass. That's going to take us into a search. So this is the standard search that we have in Dispatch Anywhere, where I can type in really whatever I'm searching for. So if I type in Matt, for example, and I did a search, this would be, or find all the calls that Matt is somewhere. A lot of these tops, Matt's Racing Supply, Matt appears somewhere on every one of these calls that this is showing up. So it's a general way to search for your calls. I can still do recently canceled or an advanced search from here as well. Again, very similar to DA Desktop. So a lot of the same features you'll see there. And then the button in the top right hand corner is the map. Now this is going to bring us to our map and show us where our drivers are at. So I have jobs all over, but I'm going to zoom into Ohio up here, where we're at. Right. So the circles are our drivers, our boxes are our jobs. I can still click on them the same way I can in Dispatch Anywhere, see the information. I can click on my drivers. Oops, let's click on like 17. And see the truck information. This one doesn't have a driver assigned to it. Let's see if we can find one. None of my trucks, none of my vehicles have a driver assigned. Let's see if I can, there we go. All right, so Josh is assigned to this one. If I click, the information will give me some more information, speed, so forth, if you have GPS integration, who's assigned to it, and so forth. So it does give you an idea of who's in that truck, either by clicking on it or just clicking the information icon. I could open up my jobs from here as well by clicking on the job and clicking on the header right here, and it would open up the job for me. I'll do that in a little bit, but it is another way that you can use this. All right, so I'm going to hit the back key. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a call manually here. All right, so let's hit the plus in the bottom corner. If you have multiple divisions, you can set that. Your requester is just going to be whichever account it's for. You can scroll through this to find the account, or I can type it up here. So if I want to run a call for Matt's Racing Supply, I can do that. Now I have a lot of this stuff pre-filled out, so I don't have to type it in again. So you can configure your accounts like this if the information is the same all the time. I use this one a lot for testing, so I pre-fill the fields, so I'm not constantly typing it. But you can see you got the same customer information, pickup address, potential notes for the driver. You can schedule calls on here if you're going to do appointment calls. Vehicle information. We'll say this is a Honda Civic. So it's red. VIN numbers, I can put those in here. This one does have Magic VIN as well. That's what that little icon there is. So I can either do a scan of the VIN if I'm in front of the car, or I can do Magic VIN. Magic VIN will let us put our license plate and state abbreviation in. So we'll use Beacon 2 in Ohio. Confirm that it's a Saturn Sky, and it gives us the VIN number, and then it will put that into the call for me automatically. And then, other things like odometer reading, where the keys are at. I can change priorities, put it in an impound lot if I need to. It's green light. Who I'm billing it to, ticket number, member number, etc. This is all the same information you would see on the desktop version. Right. So let's say this one's good. We're going to go ahead and hit save at the top. So this will create my call. Now, just like desktop, you have to have a service on every single call. So we'll add it here. Now, if I hit the plus in the upper right-hand corner, if my account has defaults set up for it, I can hit the Add Default Service button. And this will ask me, which of my defaults do I want to add? Mileage, tow, en route, or keep them all checked? Maybe I only want to add the tow service. All right, so I'll keep that one checked and hit Add. Right, that's going to add my tow service. At this point, because I've added at least one service, I can go ahead and dispatch this if I need to. I'm going to add a couple more here, though, just to show you. All right, so I'm going to do New Service. Get my service drop down here, and I can pick whatever it is. Let's say I want to add this mileage service. Right. So I can type in whatever I want here. Now if I hit that calculator, just like desktop, this will bring me into my distance calculator, and I can hit the calculate button at the bottom, and this will calculate the distance automatically for me, give me my price, like you can see 182 at the top and so forth. I could use odometer readings if I want to go that route. Most of the time people just use the distance though, but you have the option for odometer readings if you need to. And then we just click done in the upper right hand corner, and that adds my mileage service. Now you do have all these other fields where I can add discounts, adjust commission and so forth, invoice number posted on, etc. Most of the time people aren't doing that here. It does give you the option. Most of the time that's going to be done on your accounting side with the create invoice or posting. If you want more information on that, go ahead and check out one of our other videos we did a couple weeks ago on posting. It'll give you some more information, or you can obviously give us a call if you have any questions. But we'll go ahead and save this. We'll add our mileage service. All right, so now I have a tow and mileage on here. And let's say I'm done. Let's say I'm ready to dispatch this call. All right, so I'm going to go back here. Right. So my new call's created at the bottom there, that Saturn Sky that I just did. All right. So when I click on it, I get some more information on here. All right. So we'll kind of quickly go over what we're looking at. At the very top, be the first to comment on this job. Once we assign this call to the driver, if I use that, this will allow me to communicate back and forth via text in the app to the driver back and forth. So we can see our time here. Incident location and destination have a icon next to those. If I would click that on my phone, that would take me into Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, whatever I'm using, and get turn-by-turn directions. So if I'm dispatching a call and also taking the call, I can do everything through the same app. The vehicle information, that Saturn Sky, if I hit that little car icon, that's going to take you to our tow spec website. So it's going to give you things like the towing instructions, hook points, jack points, recommended or weight of the vehicle, things like that. So it's all saved there. Again, the driver has this as well, but if you're taking the call at the same time, you don't have to necessarily go to the driver app. You can do it from here. And then my contact and owner information, if I need to call that person, whether it was the contact or owner, I can click that phone icon, and that's a one-touch dial. That allows me to call the customer right away. Right. At the bottom of the services, I can hit edit there as well. This allows me to add services again if I need to. Right. Up across the top, I have three icons. The pencil icon, which is edit, that will take me back into the call, so if I needed to update anything, I can do that. The photos option, I can add photos, whether it's from my camera or I can take them from my gallery. All right, take a couple pictures here. All right. When I select all the pictures I want, I can hit the upload button in the upper right-hand corner. All right. That's going to upload the photos. So 2 photos uploaded here from the driver app if I need to. And then the 3 dots, that gives me options to print out or see the tow ticket. I can do payments if I need to from here. That includes the new Square integration. I can do a swap out or duplicate the call from here as well. So all the options you have on the desktop, you have from here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and assign this at the bottom. I have 2 options: the check mark, which would allow me to pick a driver, and the circle with the line through it, which would allow me to cancel a call if I need to. But I'm going to go ahead and sign it. So I'll hit the checkbox or the check mark. At this step, I'm going to choose my driver. So I get a drop down here. Again, this gives me that same list I was looking at before, and I can see from here, Brian has 3 calls assigned to him, Alex has 2. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and give this call to Sasha. All right. Sasha was already assigned to a vehicle, so it selects it, but I could select a different truck. Maybe he's getting into truck 13, for example. I can do that from here and hit assign in the upper right-hand corner. All right. That's going to go ahead and assign the call, and we'll see at the top now it shows it's been dispatched to Sasha. And then my icons for me have changed across the bottom. Typically our driver at this point would take over this call, timestamp it, add pictures, so on and so forth. Maybe I'm, again, the same person that's taking this call. I can do my own timestamps in the bottom right-hand corner with that stopwatch. So let's say I want to confirm that call. Right. I can do that. I can cancel it again. The check with the back arrow, that's how I unassign the call. So maybe I gave it to the wrong driver by mistake and I need to give it to somebody else. I can unassign that call. And then the check with the plus all the way to the left, if I hit that, this allows me to assign additional resources to the call. So if I have more than one driver on the call, I can select another person. So let's just say, I don't know, Josh is going to go help Sasha with this call. Now I can set Josh as my primary if I need to from here, or I can make him a secondary by leaving it unchecked. We'll make him a secondary in this case, and I'll hit assign. So now I can see at the top, confirmed Sasha +1. +1 just means, or +2, that I have additional resources on the call. Right. So go back here. Right. And then on my main dispatch screen, just like desktop, I can see all my calls, and then I got Sasha and Alex with more than one person on that call. Right. The only thing I do want to touch base on is any calls for our customers that are doing Motor Club work. When these calls feed in where it says request to buy is required, I'm going to click on that one. Now, if I try to assign this to a driver right away by clicking the plus in the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to say, please add a service. I have to have at least one service on every single call. So I could do that by scrolling all the way to the bottom here. It shows edit job first. All right. So I'm going to click my pencil. Set any required fields that haven't already been filled out. I think this call is mostly okay. Let me hit save. Let me see. Oh, nope. See, I'm missing a field here, so I got to put something. So I'm going to say tow. I'm going to try to save it again, upper right-hand corner. There we go. So my required fields are filled out now. I'm going to hit the plus to add a service. I'll just add defaults. That looks good. All right. So I've added at least one service, and I can see that at the bottom here now. So now I can hit my check mark in the bottom right-hand corner and select a driver. Let's say it's Todd this time. And then Todd would be assigned to that call now. So it's been dispatched to Todd. All right. So those are the little things that you may run across when you're using DA Mobile. For the most part, it should follow the workflow that you're used to if you've been using the desktop version. But we do have a lot of customers that primarily use the mobile app for dispatching and then do all their accounting and reporting from the desktop. All right, so a lot of these features are added to make it easier for you while you're in the field. But if you have any suggestions for us, please let us know if there's anything we could do to make it even easier while you're in the field. So today, basically, we looked at DA Mobile, a couple of the new features on here, how to create a call, and how calls are going to be fed in through TowMagic. If you do have any questions or comments, please let us know. You can always call us, submit a support ticket, or always leave a comment in the section below here on YouTube. Next week, we're going to be looking at QuickBooks and how to export calls. So if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to be notified of new videos that we put up and or when we go live. So we're always putting new content on our YouTube channel now. So if you want to be notified, just hit the subscribe button. So hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you next week for QuickBooks.